We joined a tour and cruise with Imagine Cruising, which took us around India's Golden Triangle, including a tiger safari in Ranthambore and a train trip into the Himalayas. On the third day, we took a 4-hour, 140-mile coach journey to Agra. Agra is the home of two UNESCO World Heritage Sites, namely, the Taj Mahal and the Agra Fort. As India's 23rd most populous city, it houses 1.6 million people. Agra's golden era began in the early 16th century when it became the capital of the Mughal Empire under the emperors Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, and Shah Jahan. Emperor Akbar built Agra Fort. His grandson Shah Jahan added to the fort and also built the Taj Mahal. We entered the Taj Mahal complex through the Great Gate, which is magnificent in itself for the craftsmanship and artistry of the marble inlay work on the coral-colored stone. However, the complexity of its craftsmanship is overlooked as your eyes are drawn through the arch to the magnificent sight of the Taj Mahal, as it shines like a jewel on the horizon. As you pass through the arch, it takes your breath away, as you feast your eyes on its awesome splendor. The calligraphy above the gate reads, "O soul, thou art at rest. Return to the Lord at peace with him, and he at peace with you." The Taj Mahal was commissioned in 1631 by Shah Jahan to house the tomb of his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal. It also houses the tomb of Shah Jahan himself. The meaning of Taj Mahal is the Crown Palace. It was voted as the best of the new 7 wonders of the world in 2007. The mausoleum took 12 years to complete, although, afterwards, work continued on further phases for another 10 years. The first ceremony held here was on the 6th of February 1643, which was the 12th anniversary of the death of Mumtaz Mahal. In order to go into the mausoleum, we had to put covers over our shoes, which made everyone look like Smurfs. The exquisite artistry and craftsmanship of the exterior of the monument is incredible, and only when you see it up close can you marvel in the intricacy of it. With inlaid jewels and carving in relief, it is hard to comprehend that it was all done with hand tools alone. However, when you enter inside the mausoleum, you are met with even greater workmanship which blows you away. Unfortunately, it is forbidden to take photographs inside, so you will just have to come here yourself to see its splendor. The white marble is inlaid with jasper, jade, turquoise, sapphires, and Chinese crystals. The 4 minarets in each corner are purposely built a few degrees out of plumb, leaning away from the mausoleum, in case of collapse during earthquakes. The mosques on either side are fashioned with coral-colored stone, inlaid with marble. The main complex is situated on the southern bank of the Yamuna River. On the north bank are further gardens where Shah Jahan was going to build his own black mausoleum. Agra Fort can be seen in the distance to the west. Our time spent at the Taj Mahal was unforgettable. For us, it was the highlight of the Golden Triangle and will remain in our memories forever.
If you are enjoying this video, please like, subscribe, comment, and share to support our channel.
After our visit to the Taj Mahal, we were taken to a small factory shop where they made inlaid marble. We were given a demonstration of their craft and a light lunch before being invited to purchase some gifts. there was a good selection of items, at prices to suit all pockets. Next, we moved on to Agra Fort, also known as Agra's Red Fort. It was renovated by Emperor Akbar between 1565 and 1573 and was the main residence of the Mughal rulers until the capital was moved from Agra to Delhi in 1638. The fort is more like a walled city. The walls of the fort are 70 feet high. We entered the fort through the Amar Singh Gate and the Akbari Gate. We then walked up a long slope toward the Shah Jamani Gate. The north side of the fort is not open to the public as it is still a military encampment. We walked on through a courtyard towards Anuri Bar. Jahangir's bath is a large stone bowl carved out of a single piece of rock. This used to be filled with rose water for fragrance. Legend has it that Akbar used to bathe in it. In the Anuri Bar courtyard, we could see the Taj Mahal pavilion to the right, the Parcheesi court in the far corner, and above that, the Shahi Burj, also known as the Jasmine Tower. Shah Jahan altered the fort to its current state, and was later imprisoned here in the Jasmine Tower to the east of the fort, where he spent his final days looking out at his beloved Taj Mahal. He was imprisoned by his son, Muhi-ud-Din Muhammad, after he was declared as being incompetent to rule, due to his extravagant plans to build a black mausoleum for himself on the opposite bank of the river to the Taj Mahal. We walked up to the pavilions to see views of the Taj Mahal in the distance. At full zoom it was hard to keep the camera steady. Sorry. Here is a still instead. We went through into the Parcheesi court. Once again, the skills of the craftsmen were on show. Such perfection! On the lower level near the courtyard is the Shish Mahal, meaning glass palace. Above which is the Makkai Barwan, which is currently a lawned courtyard. However, it is believed that the area originally had fountains and pools, to rear goldfish, for the emperor. Here is a view of the Jasmine Tower, and Shah Jahan's view of the Taj Mahal beyond. We then went through to the Shah Jahani Palace, which has a well in the center of the courtyard. It was built by Shah Jahan. We then continued through to the Jahangiri Palace, which was built by Akbar for his Hindu wives and was named after his son. Alas, this is where our tour ended as the complex was closing. We then headed back to the hotel, after stopping off at an off-license to buy some cheaper alcohol, as the hotel prices were very high. Alcohol in India is very expensive, with a cheap bottle of wine costing £14. We stayed at the ITC Mughal Hotel. Our room was nice, but we were told by other members of the group that some rooms were even better. The next day, day 4, we left the splendor of the Taj Mahal and were once again confronted with the poverty and squalor of the native people, along the side of the road to Fatehpur Sikri. Fatehpur Sikri is another UNESCO World Heritage Site situated just 25 miles from Agra. Known as the City of Victory, it was the capital of the Mughal Empire for around 10 years. It was built by Akbar between 1571 and 1573 using red sandstone. The first area we encountered was a rectangular courtyard with the Hall of Public Audience, which was used for celebrations and prayer. As you enter the main complex, you see what seems to be a two-story building called the Hall of Private Audience. Inside there is a large column supporting 4 bridges to each corner. It is believed that Akbar's throne occupied the circular space over the column, and the corners were assigned to his 4 ministers. Behind this building is the treasury, which served as a treasure house for gold and silver coins during Emperor Akbar's reign. These were stored in secret chests on the walls made of rubble masonry. The treasury had narrow corridors to make it easier to guard. Next, we see the Palace of Winds, which was 5 stories high, with each story decreasing in size for ventilation. It was built as a pleasure palace, with gardens alongside. This led on to Maryam's house. Maryam was the mother of Akbar. Taj Mahal is the largest palace in Fatehpur Sikri, commissioned by Mughal Emperor Akbar in 1569 for his favourite Queen Jodabai. Just behind the palace is the Jama Masjid Mosque, one of the largest in India. Unfortunately, the mosque was outside the complex, so we could not visit it. At the far end of the main area is the Emperor's private chambers, which have Akbar's library and rest area on the ground floor, with his bed chamber above. Akbar's chambers were connected to the Turkish Sultan's house. The Sultan's house had some very elaborate stone masonry. In turn, the Turkish Sultan's house connected across to the girls' school. Fatehpur Sikri was the first planned city of the Mughals, consisting of administrative, residential and religious buildings. These buildings comprised of palaces, public buildings, and living areas for the court, the army, the king's servants and other residents of the city. The Pachesi court had a platform in the center, on which Akbar would sit and play a game similar to Ludo, using his concubines as counters. The winning concubine would entertain him for the evening. You can see the markings of the game on the paving. Fatehpur Sikri is also known as the deserted city, as it was abandoned due to its shortage of fresh water, even though reservoirs had been built to store water. This guy was jumping into a reservoir of stagnant water to try and earn a few rupees. We then set off to Bharatpur, stopping on the way for a tasty Indian lunch. At Bharatpur Junction, we caught the Shatabdi express to Ranthambore. The train was 45 minutes late. Our guide Surendra had told us that the train would only stop for 2 minutes, and if we were not on board after 2 minutes, the train would leave without us. Due to me recording this footage, I ended up at the back of a queue of more than 20 people, who took time getting on board and finding their seats, which resulted in yours truly having to jump onto the train while it was moving. Just like these guys. It was a little scary but fun, and a wonderful Indian experience.